Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaying Ticket to Ride New York. This video is not just gamesplaying Ticket to Ride New York. I'm using Ticket to Ride New York as the basis for my explanation, but this should cover pretty much every Ticket to Ride. They are all the same with their own little nuance. What you're trying to do is join two destinations together as marked on a card. These points in the bottom corner are points you'll get at the end of the game. If you have not managed to join those two locations together, you will lose that many points at the end of the game. This is the same in all Ticket to Rides. In this version, we start with two cards. You'll notice that one of the cards has a multiple color. This is the wild card. It can be used to create any route. Routes are created by placing those two cards down and putting two of your taxis, or in other versions trains, onto the spot where you are claiming. Those two cards are then discarded and it's the next person's turn. Other things that you can do is you can take two cards. Taking two cards looks like choosing any two of these. If you say want to go for a green spot, you could take that one. That card is then replaced, and then you take another card either from here or from here. So I might have taken from the top of the pile. If that is what the piles look like, this card can be taken, but that's the only card that can be taken because it's a wild card. If, however, it's drawn from the face down deck, it doesn't matter. No one else knows that you've got it, so you can still take your two cards. The other option you have is to take some more tickets. In this game, when you take tickets, you choose two, and you can select to keep either one or both of these. You must keep at least one. The number of cards that you take is slightly different in each version of Ticket to Ride, but what they do is the same. So looking at the tickets you already have, you might go, oh, I'm going to Central Park and all the way down to Chinatown. Chinatown's just here. Wall Street's there. If I go through Chelsea, I can probably take that one as well. Join that. That one then gets discarded. Or I could choose to hang on to that one as well because I think I can get through all of them. And that's pretty much the game. It will continue going until someone is down to only two or less of their, in this game, taxis, but in other game, trains. And then each player gets one last turn, including the player who caused the final round to begin. So if blue were to get down to two, purple would have one more turn, then blue would have one more turn. Then final scoring is according to this. In other versions, there's a score track that goes around the outside of the board, and you keep track as you're going of what your scores are for the routes that you've taken. And so the length of the routes gives you points. Obviously, the longer the route, the more points it's worth. In this game, there's also extra points for going through the cities with a 1 on it. That's one extra point for each space that you've stopped at that has the 1. And that is unique to this version of the game. You also then get the points as marked on the bottom left corner of your cards if you have managed to get a stop at each of those destinations or join those two destinations together. In this version of the game, we're keeping track of the scores at the end of the game on the score pad. As I said before, in other versions of the game, there is a score track around the outside of the board. In other versions of the games, there are both trains and boats available, and so therefore there are both train and boat cards available. In other versions, there are also mountains, and so you need to do extra stuff. And there's, in the rules for each of them, you can look them up. I believe that's Ticket to Ride Europe does that. There's another version that you need to lay the route before you lay the track on top of it. So you're putting down, say, two pieces and you're showing what color of track needs to go on top of that. Now, what I didn't mention was the color of the train cards that you've taken or the bus cards that you've taken needs to match with the color of the route that you're taking. If it's grey, it can be any color, but they all need to be the same color. Obviously, if you've got the wild card, that can count as any color. You'll notice some of these routes have two tracks. In the two-player game, you'll only use one of them. As soon as one of those two tracks is taken with either of the colors, then the other one is no longer available to be taken. I think that's all there is to say about Ticket to Ride New York or Ticket to Ride in general. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you wish to be gamesplayed, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the Gamesplanner to keep up to date with the games that I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.